Welcome to Hollywood World. In this video, we're going to pull back the velvet curtain and expose a side of Golden Age Hollywood you never saw on screen. These were the women who dazzled audiences with glamour and grace, but behind the scenes, they were brash, bawdy, and downright vulgar. That's right, today we're revealing 17 Golden Age Hollywood actresses who were extremely vulgar, whether it was their foul language, crude humor, explosive temper, or scandalous behavior. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on the video, because you won't believe which screen legends made this list. Now let's dive right in. 1. Bette Davis. First up is the incomparable Bette Davis, the queen of sharp tongues and no-nonsense attitude. On screen, she was brilliant and commanding. Off-screen, she was known for swearing like a sailor, chain-smoking, and cutting rivals to pieces with her razor wit. Davis once said, "If everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong." Her behind-the-scenes fights with Joan Crawford and directors became Hollywood legend, most of them ending with vulgar insults and slammed doors. 2. Joan Crawford. Of course, where there's Bette Davis, there's Joan Crawford, her most infamous rival. Crawford was every bit as vulgar in private as she was polished in public. She was known to drink heavily, curse often, and throw epic temper tantrums. Her adopted daughter Christina's memoir, Mommy Dearest, portrayed her as an abusive, foul-mouthed tyrant. Whether you believe every word or not, insiders agree Crawford could be explosively crude when she didn't get her way. 3. Tallulah Bankhead. One of the most notoriously vulgar women in all of Hollywood history, Tallulah Bankhead made zero effort to hide it. She smoked, drank, swore, and talked openly about sex in an era when women were expected to stay demure. Known for her wild parties, she once quipped, "My father warned me about men and booze, but he never said a word about women and cocaine." Her vulgarity was part of her charm, and part of why studios feared her. 4. Mae West. Mae West practically trademarked sexual innuendo in the 1930s, but in real life, she was even raunchier. Her screen persona, sassy, sultry, and suggestive, wasn't an act. Mae wrote her own lines and pushed censorship limits with her vulgar humor. She famously said, "I used to be Snow White, but I drifted." Off camera, she was crude, flirtatious, and never afraid to speak her mind, or her body. 5. Marlene Dietrich. German-born icon Marlene Dietrich was glamorous, sophisticated, and shamelessly vulgar when she wanted to be. She cursed fluently in multiple languages, carried on open affairs with both men and women, and loved shocking people. On one occasion, she wore men's suits to formal events and dared anyone to say something about it. She once told a journalist who asked about her age, "Darling, don't be vulgar." Oh, the irony. 6. Shelley Winters. Shelley Winters didn't care who she offended. She was loud, foul-mouthed, and once dumped a drink on a producer's head. Winters famously said she was too ugly to be a star but too vulgar to be ignored. She had no patience for Hollywood politeness and reveled in shocking people with her dirty jokes and real talk. She also carried her Academy Award in her purse, and wasn't shy about flashing it, or her temper. 7. Judy Garland. Though beloved for her pure voice and girl next door image, Judy Garland was far from squeaky clean in private. Years of studio abuse, addiction, and heartbreak turned her into a deeply cynical, often vulgar woman. She swore heavily, smoked constantly, and referred to Louis B. Mayer with unrepeatable epithets. Her private performances for friends were filled with off-color jokes, often making even seasoned entertainers blush. 8. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner was one of the most beautiful women in the world, and one of the most unapologetically vulgar. She drank like a fish, swore constantly, and didn't mind talking about her bedroom escapades. Of her ex-husband Frank Sinatra, she once said, "He may be a short guy, but he's built like a horse and he knows how to use it." That kind of bluntness made her both admired and feared in Hollywood. 9. Carole Lombard. Known as the queen of screwball comedy, Carole Lombard was also known for her mouth. She swore like a sailor and had a body sense of humor that shocked even the men on set. While her characters were ditzy and lovable, Lombard herself was sharp, fearless, and unfiltered. She reportedly competed with Clark Gable in dirty joke contests, and usually won. 10. Thelma Ritter. Character actress Thelma Ritter brought sass and sarcasm to her roles, and it was no act. Off camera, she was known for her vulgar sense of humor, quick temper, and total lack of pretension. She'd call out phoniness, drop F-bombs in casual conversation, and roast co-stars who thought too much of themselves. Ritter's mouth may have held her back from more lead roles, but it made her a legend among insiders. 11. Barbara Stanwyck. Don't let the classy roles fool you. Barbara Stanwyck could be as tough and foul-mouthed as any gangster in the movies. Raised in Brooklyn and hardened by a rough childhood, she didn't bother with flowery words or fake smiles. She cursed, barked orders, and reportedly scared off directors who thought they could push her around. And yet, she was fiercely respected. 12. Jean Harlow. Platinum blonde bombshell Jean Harlow was cheeky, flirty, and crude behind the scenes. She loved telling dirty jokes and was famous for pranking co-stars with sexually suggestive one-liners. One studio executive once said, Jean was the only star who could make Mae West blush. She played the game well on screen, but off-screen, she wasn't shy about being totally inappropriate for the era. 13. Betty Hutton. The high-energy comedic star Betty Hutton wasn't just wild on camera, she was a live wire in real life. She was known for sudden outbursts, rough language, and an irreverent attitude toward everyone, from studio bosses to fans. People close to her often described her as exhausting and vulgar. She didn't mean to offend, but it came naturally. 14. Miriam Hopkins. Academy Award-nominated actress Miriam Hopkins had a sharp tongue and a wicked temper. Known for her diva fits, she wasn't above launching verbal grenades laced with profanity when someone crossed her. She infamously clashed with Bette Davis on set, both women slinging insults that shocked even the film crew. Hopkins didn't care. She was going to speak her mind, politely or otherwise. 15. Rosalind Russell. Though she often played elegant ladies and fast-talking reporters, Rosalind Russell had a reputation for being one of the most foul-mouthed women in Hollywood. She was witty, yes, but also vulgar in her humor, especially after a few drinks. Her off-color jokes were notorious at parties. She reportedly once whispered something so filthy in Cary Grant's ear that he burst out laughing for 10 minutes straight. 16. Kay Francis. Glamorous and mysterious on screen, Kay Francis had a reputation behind the scenes for being incredibly loose-lipped and lewd. She had multiple affairs, cursed openly, and was fond of telling salacious stories about her co-stars and lovers. She once said, "I made more money doing nothing than any other woman in Hollywood." Her interviews were often filled with double entendres and eyebrow-raising comments. 17. Linda Darnell. Linda Darnell began as a starlet groomed for elegance, but behind the scenes, she was anything but ladylike. She swore, drank heavily, and didn't mince words with co-stars or press. Her stormy relationships often spilled into public arguments peppered with profanity. Many described her as having a truck driver's mouth in a goddess's body. And there you have it, 17 Golden Age Hollywood actresses who were extremely vulgar. These women shattered the illusion of perfect femininity, proving that even silver screen legends could be just as raw and real as anyone else. They were bold, brash, and unapologetically themselves. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Hollywood World for more untold stories of classic cinema's biggest icons. Thanks for watching.